Hey everyone, this is Bill Krieger from the Veterans Archives podcast, where we preserve and share the incredible stories of our nation's heroes. Catch us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Wreaths Across America Radio, or stream anytime on Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Really, anywhere you choose to get your podcast, you should be able to find us. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media to help us reach more veterans and supporters. We are a nonprofit, and this service is completely free for veterans. Every story matters, and every voice deserves to be heard. Spread the word, honor our heroes, and join us on this mission. Follow, share, and tune in, because their story should never be forgotten. Learn more at veteransarchives.org. We'll see you there. Today is Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. We're talking with Gerard Krenzel, who served in the United States Army. So good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm glad we could finally get together.
Yes.
All right. So we'll start out very simple. When and where were you born?
I was born in Dearborn, Michigan. I grew up in Detroit. And, I don't know. Been, I had a lot of jobs, different jobs when I was growing up, and I got one heck of a work ethics. I started working when I was in school yet, at a gas station, and it was called Mel's Shell, and a friend of mine got a job there, but he quit, and that guy asked me if I wanted one. So I used to come home from school. He used to go in the morning and open the place up for the guys. That's when we had gas stations and repair places instead of grocery stores. And then I went to school and came home. And I worked the rest of the evening, and I closed up the place, done the books, and then got it ready for the next day. And unfortunately, when my mother died before I graduated out of high school, but she told me, she said she never wanted me to join the service, and because of things that happened to my dad, battles that he was in, and but since she died, I waited 2 years, and a friend of mine went into the service, and we were joking and we threw him a going away party and everything, and we said, well, it turned out to be, I waited a few months, and then me and my cousin went in. And we went in on a buddy system. And that's when you could go in and, just stay buddies. Well, we done boot camp together. And he was a lot bigger than I am, so he had a little rough time in boot camp, doing mile runs and everything like this. And we did our boot camp training, and then for our AIT, I forget where he went, but I went to California.
What was your job in the Army?
I was a mechanic.
Okay.
I forgot the MOS that we were.
I feel like they change them on a regular basis, so it's hard to remember. So you went to California for your training then?
Yeah, I went to California and for my training, and I had a lot of experiences there. I enjoyed myself.
Mm-hmm.
I If there was something to see, I wanted to see it. So I was a while since I was out. On the coast. So I was stationed in Fort Ord, California. And when I went over there, I had my short sleeves and my, what would you call them, khakis.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there and it was cold. I said, this ain't California. And so, but I spent a lot of time on the beach on my times off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got real sunburned one time. And I decided to go and see my aunt in Phoenix. So I got on a Greyhound bus, all sunburned, and it really hurt. And I went out there and came back. And then I guess we had some kind of leave or something. And when I got back, my CO said that he could court-martial me. And I said, what for? And he says that if, destroying government property. And I says, well, I didn't destroy anything. He says, yourself, you got sunburn. Oh, yeah. So I couldn't miss any exercises, anything that was going on. I had to, perform my duties and everything like this. And I graduated. And then there was, they had us all in a formation and they asked us where we would like to go. And I says, when it got to me, I says, I'd like to go to Vietnam. And he says, well, I'm sorry, you're going to go to Korea instead. So I was over in Korea. And
so around what year was this? Do you recall? This was during the Vietnam War?
and they were pulling troops out of, I went in, I think, in around early 74.
Okay.
Yeah, they were.
It was sort of winding down at that point.
Yeah, it was winding down. I figured they put us over in Korea just in case something happened or something. And so I enjoyed myself over there. But I remember when I first got there, my MOS, I remember it was a 63 B-20. And I got there and I was in culture shock. They had ox carts and buses. They just drove crazy. And but I was stationed over at around the DMZ.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what exactly it was. It was right outside Seoul. And they were really Army guys. This was, they put a M60 in my arm, my hands, and because they said, well, he wore glasses, so you could find something to shoot at,
Right.
And I remember the first day I was over there, we had an air raid, and I, of course, didn't know what was going on. I decided to look up, and everybody was, taking cover. And I went out looking out the window, and boy, I'll tell you what, you don't do that. I found out, so I got yelled at and reprimanded and everything for doing the window peeking. If we're having an air raid, I want to see what was flying over.
Right, of course.
So, but that wasn't what you're supposed to do. So I learned right away, real fast. They done us marching around the DMZ and all this other stuff, and carrying my M60 while everybody else had one of these late M16s. And I felt like I was being picked on. But, I felt safe anyhow.
Right.
But then they transferred me right away. And I was there for maybe a couple of weeks, and they transferred me down south to Piontek, south of the Air Force Base over there, Ulsan Air Force Base. And I was hanging out there for about a month. And I don't know if they transferred me up close to the DMZ again. But I was on a Korean Air Force Base. And it was kind of nice. It was like there was 50 of us between Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marines, and we just kind of hung out. And it was we had a couple Mohawks. They were reconnaissance planes. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of helicopters. And, of course, the Korean Air Force Base was right there, so, we got to see how they, operate as far as, in the ranks and everything. And they were a little meaner than us. I gotta say, it was almost like a MASH unit. Well, there was a hospital on the other side of the hill, but we were kind of like low-keyed, and we worked out of van.
Oh,
and we only had a barracks to sleep in. Well, when I stayed there, eventually I found a place off base, and I lived there. It was fun. But when I first got there, it was pretty good. We had Air Force food. We didn't have Army.
Oh, so that's completely different.
Yeah.
That's a little bit better, actually, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit better. And we were able to go to NCO Club and hang out there. And, of course, I didn't do that much hanging out over at the NCO Club. But that was our night entertainment.
Yeah.
We had jets flying all over, because we were on the Air Force Base, and helicopters, and some came kind of on flatbeds all crumbled up and everything like this. But when I got a little familiar with the place, I had a sergeant. His name was Ed Frazier, and he was a nice guy. And there were we had a motor pool. There was me and two other guys that operated under him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we had 7 trucks. We had a big 5-ton. We had a deuce and a half, a Jeep, smaller or bigger, a little bigger than a Jeep. It wasn't much in our motor pool, and what it was basically, even though we had 5 or 6 vans, we had only one truck to pull them.
Okay.
I was really kind of nervous there a little bit because they had all the mock jets over on our side, you know, that were out. And so if they started anything, they would hit them and it would be close to our barracks and everything like this. But we made do. I had a warrant officer for a CO, which was kind of nice. When I did live off base, I lived with the sergeant guy.
Oh.
And his wife, he was married to a Korean, had a Korean wife. They were married in the States and then went over there.
Oh.
How she got in the States, I don't know, but you know, they met over in the United States and then they went over there. Her brother was the chief of police over there, and I lived with Ed, his wife Sue, and I forget her sister's name. She was a nice girl. She wasn't one of these fly-by-nights.
Yeah.
And they went a lot of places. She went a lot of places with us, you know. One of the things that I liked about it is whenever our off time was, we went out adventuring. We had a Scout, a little Jeep-like thing, and we had a hooch area, or whatever you call them, and I had a dog.
Really?
Yeah, I had a German Shepherd. Her name was Purdue. And then we had one of her dogs that was a little thing. And I remember Ed used to go, that was a sergeant friend of mine, he used to go to work on time and everything like this, and I would be late all the time. So I wouldn't go to work with him. I would ride the bus, one of these kimchi buses they call them, and I'd walk all the way down the hill to catch a bus, and the dog would somehow open the gate and get out, and they eat dogs over there. So
Right.
I had to. You know, I was extra late because I had to go back up and lock her up and things like that. And there was something else I was going to say. On the buses, they had goats and pigs and sheep and everything.
Really?
Yes, it was quite adventurous. But, you know, it was kind of, you had to watch what you eat over there as far as their food, you know, because of the different stuff that was going on. And, but, you know, tangerines. I like tangerines, and we always had a bag of tangerines.
Uh-huh.
So if you missed the bus stop wherever it was stopping, and you go to the next one, you always had your tangerines to eat. Lunch.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of times when we went to when we were in camp, we kind of like slacked off on our uniforms. We didn't blouse our pants or, wore our boots, regular T-shirts and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my sergeant saying one time to me, "You got to make roll calls in the morning a little earlier, because I was always, like I said, I was always late."
Right.
But I done my job, and one time we had a IG inspection. I don't know if you ever had one, but IG inspections, then general comes and checks out the place. Well, our main base was down in Piontek, and I was at K-16 up north. So they had the main inspection down there, but he decided to come up and check us out. So here we had to, be a little prepared for him. And I had all the trucks fit shine and everything like this. And he asked me, he checked out he says, one thing that I noticed on your trucks, you don't have any governors on. And I says, "Yes, sir, I know." I said, "But isn't our main objective to get the heck out of here as fast as you can?" And I says, "We don't need governors on." And he says, "I could fail you for this, not having the proper stuff."
Mm-hmm.
I says, I don't know where they are. They were never on the things in the first place, because I didn't take them off. And he says, at least you're honest with me. He says, I won't write you up on it.
Uh-huh.
So that was pretty decent. And we went on doing our business. When I was at this K-16, I didn't have a gun. I didn't have no weapons. All right, you shouldn't call them guns. These weapons. And I just had a plastic helmet.
Really?
Yeah, they were. I don't know. Like I say, we weren't supposed to. We were supposed to head in our trucks if something happened and head down south.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey, listeners, we need your help to keep the Veterans Archives podcast going. We're a nonprofit dedicated to preserving the stories of our nation's heroes, and we provide this service completely free to veterans. Your support helps us record, share, and archive these incredible stories so future generations never forget the sacrifices made for our freedom. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. Visit veteransarchives.org to contribute today. Help us honor their service by ensuring their voices are heard. And thank you for your support, and thank you to all the veterans who have served our country. Right. So you got to trade in your M60 anyway. You didn't have to carry that around.
Yeah, I didn't have to carry it. There was a protocol on what to do in camp, because we had a lot of electronic equipment, stuff like this, in the vans. And the bands were all okay. They, he kind of didn't like my van when he did, because my van didn't have wheels on it. A motor pool didn't the only van that was there, the big truck van.
Yeah.
And it didn't have wheels on it, and so I painted it Air Force blue instead of green.
Oh.
So it really stood out, and I didn't repaint it before the inspector came, but like I said, we had kind of a easy go at it.
Yeah. How long were you in Korea?
I was just for about 14 months or something like this. I wanted to really join back up.
Mm-hmm.
But I was, thinking about coming home, seeing my girlfriend, and stuff like this.
She had a girl back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. And so I just decided not to.
Mm-hmm.
I should have. It was a toss-up because I could have seen a lot more. But like when I was over there, the basically when I was ready to leave ETS out of there, I was going to come back to Fort Riley, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would get there, they would get ready to go on reforger over to Germany. So I would have to get off one plane and go on another plane and go out to Germany for a while. For a month or so, I was. And a month or 2 months, something. It was a long time. So I decided, my CO gave me 15 days extra leave.
Mm-hmm.
They called it excess leave. They docked me all my pay when I was getting ready to get out, but I didn't care, But I had a lot of fun over there. I seen a lot of things. We were, like I was saying, I was able to go a lot of places. I went to a lot by myself. I had a friend that was Korean. I met in the States, and he says, go see his family when I was over there. So I got on one of these buses, didn't exactly know where I was going. I was the only American. Walking through town, I remember this little village. It was something. But they treated me, I ran into his parent, not his parent, his family.
Uh-huh.
And they treated me like I was king. And I left there, spent the day there, got on a bus and went back home. But it was I was only American in the village and stuff like this. Now I guess the villages turned into towns and everything like that. And when I was over there, I had a friend that was in the Philippines. That gentleman that I talked to that joined the Air Force, well, he was in the Philippines. And he wrote me a letter asking me how the duty was over in Korea. And he said they had a lot of brass and stuff walking around there. And so he got transferred and he was over in Korea with me. Real good friend.
Oh, it must have been nice.
He's still a friend of mine. And we grew up together, we're kids together. Really neat. But when I came home, it was like a culture shock because I wasn't used to going around with all this brass and everything like this. And we were on. Everybody was in Reforger. Then I was in. Then my duty over there was driving this preacher guy around.
So this is Germany now, or this is?
This is in Fort Riley, Kansas.
Oh, in Kansas. Okay, because you didn't go to Germany.
No, I didn't go to Germany.
Okay.
I waited for everybody to come back.
There you go.
I was the only one there. Well, there were a few of us that didn't get there.
Right.
Didn't get to go to Germany. And but when I was over there, in Kansas, then I was I kind of skipped a lot, but when I was in Kansas, I was driving him the captain around or whatever he was, and I remember they had artillery there, big tanks, and we were driving by one of the tanks, and we didn't know exactly where we were, and I think we were captured too. But one of these tanks went off not too far from us.
Oh boy!
And our ears rung. I remember that, and I heard, "Oh," he said, let's get out of here." You know? And but getting back to Korea, I had a lot of. I went a lot of trips. When I was there, unfortunately, I had this chief of police guy. He was he went with us a lot. We went on fishing trips close to the DMZ and these little villages and everything like this. It was a lot of fun. I went to a park that was you had to go in your dress greens or something.
Oh,
You or a suit. You couldn't walk in there just casually, and they had marble bridges and everything like this. I remember there. I went by myself, and it was very exciting. It's, a lot of nice things, nice parks. Nothing was out of place. I forgot the name of it though, but it was a great place.
it sounds like it was beautiful.
Yeah. So that's basically all I'd done over there.
Mm-hmm.
Gas was $6 a gallon, so we used to all chip in and put our monies together, what little monies we had left, and go in. It was expensive for gas.
Yeah, that's a lot of money at that time when gas was what, like maybe 35, 40 cents a gallon? Or no, so it was the 70s, so it was still up there, but it wasn't $6 a gallon back in the States.
Yeah, it was like $1 a gallon or something like that.
Yeah.
But $6 a gallon was really something.
That's a lot.
But like I said, we saved our money. And the only thing I didn't like about it was, the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
The hole in the floor.
There's nothing better than an American bathroom.
Yes.
To be honest, right?
you kind of think back like the malls and everything like this. Seoul, Korea, you'd think they would have something. We went to a mall one time. It was like inside. It was an inside mall, and the bathrooms were right in like the back alley or something like that. It was something. It was, yeah.
So that's the one thing you didn't like about Korea then was the bathrooms.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So you left Korea then at the end of that tour and went to Fort Riley.
Yeah, Fort Riley.
And then how long were you at Fort Riley for?
I was at Fort Riley for about 5 more months.
Okay.
And then I left the service. When I was at Fort Riley, I remember leaving Fort Riley. I had a lot of souvenirs, like big rounds of shells and everything like this.
Mm-hmm.
And when we left there, we were on a plane it was a Cessna. A bunch of us popped in a Cessna, and I couldn't carry any extra weight, so I had to leave it all there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was something, but I don't know. That was basically my experience.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you come home to Detroit then when you got out?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I lived in Detroit at the time.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I remember, I was working at Cadillac Motor Car before I went in to the service, and my aunt got me in there, and she had 30-some years in the place, and when I got there, they were doing all these layoffs and everything like that. It was really bad back then. And I got laid off. And I was home and not doing nothing. I couldn't get a job. I had something, I don't know exactly what I was doing. But there was... that's when they still had telegrams. They got a hold of you personally or something like that. I got out of the service. I went back. I thought I could get my job back.
Mm-hmm.
At General Motors. But they said that I got fired because I didn't tell them I was going into the service at the time. And they didn't even know I was. They said they called me, but they never called me. So I got upset with them, and I thought it was pretty cold what they did to me. And even though my dad was home all the time,
right?
And they never sent no telegram or got a hold of me or something. So they didn't even know I was gone. They didn't know. They said I was terminated. So I had a lot of friends that were working at General Motors at the time. I was pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
So Frank Reynolds was a union officer at the time. He was a union leader. And they later on, a year or so later, they got him for embezzlement and stuff like that. And put him away for 10, 20 years. Really, gotcha.
Right.
But then I got a job at Lear Siegler's, and we were making machining axles and everything like that. And that's where I met my wife's father. He was working.
Mm-hmm.
And he always showing everybody his daughter's picture. And I was just getting out of a divorce at the time, very bad.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, I ain't showing her. You ain't seen her. I'm not showing her to you." And finally, I got to see her, and then we were married when she was 16, 17 years ago. Married about 40 some years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a
So,
long time.
and I had a daughter with my previous wife,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't last that long. A friend of mine married her sister, and I thought her sister was real nice. And the other sister that I married wasn't. We didn't make it.
Yeah.
It was very sad, but unfortunately, I don't have nothing to do with my older daughter. Not that I don't want to. It was just things that happen. But my brother-in-law and he got divorced also, and we were friends growing up, and we still kept being friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I always called him my brother-in-law. You know?
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty good. He died though. He was down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go on a lot of fishing trips on long. But things change.
Yeah. So did you stay at that job for a while then? Did you?
I was there for 4 years until they had they were they had a strike, and the union said at the time of Lear Sieglers, they said that we can give you what you want, but we won't be able to stay in business. That's exactly what they did. Unfortunately, I didn't want to go on strike.
Right.
But they had a lot of funds in the union fund that they everybody got paid. Not severance pay or something like that. They called it. But when it came to me, I was one of the ones that stayed at the company. I was the longest to stay there. Me and her dad, matter of fact, we were doing our finishing up stuff. And so when the time came, I got laid off. I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
And so that's why I decided to go. And I was always good at turning wrenches, so I decided to get my schooling and go back to school and over at Madonna College, and they had special thing that they sent out for people who were they called it a stop program, and they paid you for going to school.
Oh.
And it wasn't much, but it was helpful. You could get back and forth to school and everything like this. And I kind of like aced it 1, 2, 3. I graduated out of there, got all my certifications, and went to a Buick dealership. And so I was working ever since.
So how many years did you wrench on Buicks? Long time.
About in 1980, I remember, because I remembered adventurous carburetors and the X-body Buicks, Skylarks. And so it was a long time. I would have been working at the same place, but the guy that had the franchise he had a Dodge franchise too, and he let the Buick franchise have somebody else buy it.
Oh.
And so it was down to, it's still in Plymouth, but it was down the street. So I worked in Plymouth all my life.
Oh. So now, did you live in Plymouth while you worked there?
No.
Okay.
I drive from here to Plymouth every day.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm 71. I've still been doing it.
So you're still working?
I'm still working.
Oh, silly me. I assumed that you had retired.
Not yet. This year.
Yeah.
Well, next year.
So you know a few things about cars.
Yeah, a few. Yeah.
What's it been like? So if I think about this, right, you started working on cars when you were in school. You continued to be a mechanic in the military, and then you got into auto mechanics after your time in the military.
Yeah.
So you've seen like the evolution of the car.
I did. You wouldn't believe the diesels have particular filters, they call them, or something, and they're quiet. You can go behind them and they don't smell.
Yeah.
I'm working on a couple of them now. I worked on one. I had a mishap. A guy had 1,000 miles on it. He had a bad crank in it. And I put that one, I put a new engine in that one. Mm-hmm. And the sensors are phenomenal.
It's pretty amazing what they do, isn't it?
And there's a guy there that he started with us, and he worked on these heavy trucks. Mm-hmm. So I think he basically, the diesels, the old diesels, and the brakes and everything like this, the big box trucks. And he came over they got rid of the department that he was in, so he came over to us. Mm-hmm. And he's still getting a little familiar with the situation, and I don't think he could handle that next job that came up, the next engine transplant that we had. So I volunteered for it. Mm-hmm. It takes me about a week, but I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, the gone are the days when you could do that in your backyard, right? You got to have all the right machinery.
They're gone. Yeah.
Yep. I remember as a kid throwing a block and tackle over a tree limb and pulling motors that way.
Yeah, shade tree mechanic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Had to do what you had to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't afford to pay somebody.
No, that's how I learned. My father, he got me he helped me get my first car, which was $500. It was a used car we got on Grand River in Detroit. It was a nice car. It was a 63.5 Ford Galaxie black, and I was 16, 17 back then. I held my head up.
Yeah.
And wish I would have still had that car, but I tore it up with a few other ones. But he helped me get it, which $500 was a lot of money back then too. Yeah. But I had to keep it running. So
I remember the cars that you could buy for $500.
Yeah, they were pretty.
Yeah, you could buy nice. My very first car was a '72 Olds Delta 88.
Yeah,
and it had hardly any miles. It was just a beautiful car, $500.
Yeah, it was a cream puff.
Yeah. You can't do that for $10,000 now.
No, wish you could.
Yeah. I think every car guy though says the same thing. I wish I still had that car. My dad had a '59 Chevy convertible, and there's a picture of him and my mom when they got married in the back of it. And that's the car. That's the one car he says he wishes he would have kept.
Wow.
I think we all have that car in the back of our head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I had an uncle, he was worked for Burners. And he was a maintenance crew or something like that. He'd done a lot of machinery there. And everything. He was pretty inclined and could do things and mechanically inclined. And I remember he was working on some tank over there and got burnt or something.
Oh.
And something exploded on him or something. But he made it through there and kept on going. He was a bull.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I got my work ethics from him, my aunt. You know. My daughter still has, she inherited them. She's moved to Tennessee, and she's got the only pizzeria in Clay County, about 40 miles away from every other pizzeria place. She has that, same worth ethics.
Yeah. You want a pizza, you got to buy it from her.
You
right?
darn right. Yeah.
That's excellent. So is she your only daughter then? Or do you have other children?
Well, I have the older daughter that I don't see, but I have a son and a daughter.
Okay.
And she's my little sweetheart. She's 36, 37. And my son's 40.
Yeah. What does your son do?
Nothing.
Okay.
He's doing working at managing some car washes for this guy. You know how these car washes are building up and everything like this. I guess the guy owned 2 or 3 of them, and he managed.
Okay. I feel like they're putting a car wash in every corner now. Every time they tear down a building, they put up a car wash.
Yeah, they're going up.
I'll tell you, I go to the same car wash that my dad used to go to on Cedar Street in Lansing.
Oh, yeah?
And it's the only place I'll take my car. Because it always comes out clean.
Well, there is a place on Grand River right up here in Brighton that the original car wash that we go to all the time.
You find a good place, that's where you got to go, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we've talked quite a bit about your life over the last hour or so. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you wanted to talk about?
No. Basically, that was my whole thing in a nutshell. Whole story in a nutshell, I guess.
Yeah. So I really just have one last question for you, and that is, when people are listening to your story, years from now, what message would you like to leave for people, or what would you like them to take away from your life?
Be adventurous. Stay in a good mood. Go and do things. You want to do something, go and do it. And the one thing, don't remember that your country comes first.
All right. Well, thanks for spending the evening with me. I really appreciate it, Gerard.
Well, I hope it was interesting, anyhow.
It was.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Veterans Archives podcast. We truly appreciate you taking the time to listen and honor the incredible stories of our nation's heroes. Don't forget, you can catch us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Wreaths Across America Radio, or stream past episodes anytime on Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and as I've said before, any place you can find a podcast, you can find the Veterans Archives podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share our content
on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and across all social media. Every share helps us reach more people and preserve more stories. The Veterans Archives Podcast is a nonprofit initiative, and our mission is simple: to give veterans a voice and ensure their stories are never forgotten. This service is completely free for veterans because their sacrifices deserve to be recognized and remembered. You want to help? Follow us, spread the word, and if you know a veteran with a story to tell, send them our way. Visit us at veteransarchives.org to learn more about how you can get involved. Thanks again for tuning in, and most importantly, thank you to all the veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. Until next time, take care, and we will see you on the next episode of the Veterans Archives Podcast.